maybe just for context purposes, let me give you a little history of how we got to today. Back in 2011, Tridec, as DOE's designated community reuse organization, submitted a request to transfer this 1,341 acres to the community for economic development. We did this in very close cooperation and consultation with the Port of Benton, the City of Richland, and Benton County, who we believed would be our partners going forward. And frankly, Tridec has never been in the land business. The city and the port have a great track record of being able to develop land for economic development purposes. And so it's always been our intent from the very beginning that this property actually be developed by both city and port. The county has been integral in this because of some of their land use legislation and that sort of thing that they needed to be. We wanted them at the table. It was important for them to be at the table. I can't tell you how many meetings and communications there's been over these last 5 years, not only between the partners, I'll call them, but also between us and the Department of Energy. I don't think we'd be here today, frankly, if it weren't for our congressional delegation, led by Doc Hastings at the time, but strongly supported by our two senators who were, I'll say, clever enough to get language in the Defense Authorization Act that passed Congress last December to make this transfer happen. I think we'd probably still be here having meetings and communications if we didn't have that support from our congressional delegation. So again, today I think is, from my standpoint, I get to kind of wash my hands of this a little bit. We're going to transfer this property to the city and the port, and we can ask them what are they going to do next, or how are they going to get this developed. But with that, I'd like to introduce Commissioner Bob Larson from the Port of Benton to say a few words, and then also Mayor Thompson from the City of Richland. So, Bob.
Thank you very much. Well, I want to recognize the Department of Energy for transferring the land to Tridec, and Tridec for passing the land over to the City of Richland and the Port of Benton. And I also want to recognize Diane Howard, because she worked very, very closely with Tridec and the City of Richland for the distribution of the land. The Port of Benton, after we got everything done, has been very pleased with the way it happened and the results of it. We are, from the last meeting, I understand, we are now beginning our talks with the City of Richland to decide to develop a master plan for the land. I'm not sure exactly where we are, but I know that it's the very beginning. But I know that everybody agrees, Tridec and City of Richland and the Port of Benton, that we want to bring a large manufacturing company and an energy firm that needs a large area of land and will create many jobs, and that's our objective.
Success has 1,000 fathers, doesn't it? And in this case, there truly are 1,000 fathers. Tridec, the port, City of Richland staff, and our congressional district worked tirelessly to overcome a lot of obstacles in this. And frankly, it's a testament to the patience and fortitude of those players that made this thing happen. Because there was a lot of off-roads that could have been taken, a lot of competing interests that could have been taken. But finally, the Department of Energy, in its wisdom, or with a little coercion, or a little vigorous, depending on what term one likes to use, saw fit to hand land over to Tridec. Ultimately, it's coming back to the community for fruitful use. That's the end of that chapter, and that's why we're congratulating today. But the real story is the new chapter. What do we do with that land? What do our economic partners actually decide to do? We have a chance to create quite a community here from an energy development standpoint. Part of our challenge, once you have the land, is being able to convince others how it can be used most appropriately. I think that we have an energy future here in the Tri-Cities. A component and a new mission at Hanford certainly is something, and the spill-off businesses that occur from that are integral to the health of our community. Again, thanks for the hard work everybody did. I'm just one of those people that get to show up. I didn't have that much to do with it, but I know how to take advantage of things when they're before you. And the City of Richland, Tridec, and the Port of Benton aren't going to let this opportunity go by.
Thanks, Mayor. Commissioner Larson, since you mentioned Diane, I also, Diane Howard, Gary Peterson, Adam File, I can see in the back, Kerwin Jensen and some of your predecessors, Kerwin, who are really the team that worked through this whole process. And so I think you all deserve a sincere thanks for all the work you all put in. So again, congratulations.